Hey, good morning, Kingdom community. It is Peppa here. It's early. It's 9:30. Normally I go live in the afternoon, but this morning just felt right. Like for us here in McKinney, it is the start of spring break, and so on days where there's breaks, like right, spring break is really just a thing for people with kids and all that, but sometimes the gift of a break in the rhythm of life for me, I wake up in the morning a little more inspired and a little more rested and just a little more present. And so this morning for the children, Melissa, I shared a children's time about light and the way that light dances in windows and the way that light shows itself in different ways. And in this season of Lent, I think it's funny because Lent is usually a season of darkness. It's a time where we focus on the way that the light is changing or the light of Christ is being diminished in the world. And I've always kind of thought it's really interesting that we are talking about a season that gets progressively darker as the seasons and days in our world in this time of year get progressively longer. Light stays with us longer, and I don't know about y'all, but after this year and after snowpocalypse here in Texas, after the pandemic, which we're still in, after so much, I am finding myself really longing for longer days and more sunshine. So, this part of scripture and the part of the story that we talked about this morning that I wanted to share with y'all comes from the book of Genesis and the story of creation. And y'all have heard me talk about how, in the very beginning of everything, there was nothingness and there was muck and mire. And then God spoke into all of that muck, nothingness, and said, "There be light." And God worked to create light and darkness and stars and the sun and the moon. So the first thing that God did was give us light. And God declared it good. And that light was with God at the very beginning. It was part of God at the very beginning. I believe that that light then became the light of the world in Jesus Christ, and that light lives in each of us. So, for a lot of reasons, this season, this year, this time has felt dark. It's felt marked by pain and loss and isolation and loneliness. It's been marked by the joy of babies being born, but maybe the tinges of pain when you can't go and meet those babies. I know personally there have been like 5 babies born in my life that I have yet to meet. So there's grief and there's darkness and there is pain. And yet there is still light. There's still light shining in the world, still light in the days that are growing ever brighter. So I wanted to just encourage us this week and in this time and in the season of Lent to look for light. See where light is shining. Look for light on the roads. Look for light in your houses, through your windows. Just look for light and see where it might be shining around you, on you, through you. And I wanted to share a prayer this morning from a Celtic daily prayer book. I love this book. It's such a gift because the language is different than language that I normally hear or normally use. But this prayer is called The Shadow and the Gift. Because one of the things about light, right, is that it creates shadows. Light inherently draws our eye, not only to the brightness of light, but also to the depths of shadows that might exist. Light creates different colors and different shades, and it creates shadows. So as we hear this prayer, I want you to consider the light and the ways that shadows are also a gift. Wide-eyed and excited, I see the gifts I used to stumble over. Praying with the shadow, I have come to understand it. Leading me into its secret, It has shown me that it doesn't lie. Quietly, it proclaims the existence of something deeper, something real. Study the shadow, and you will find the gift. With eyes wide open, you can see through the shadow, all the way through to a deeper truth. Yes, even shadows can make you wise once you've discovered how to look. For every shadow hides a gift. And because of that, I love shadows. So I wonder, what is the deeper truth that you are being called to sit with? What is the deeper truth within us that the shadows bring to our awareness? What is something that might be lingering in the shadows, yearning to be brought into the light? What is something that you can sit with? Maybe that you've been avoiding, or maybe that you've been saying, oh, I'll just do that later. And what if you embraced it as a gift? Knowing that you can step out into the light, knowing that you are part of the light and that the light is within you. Where can the shadows be a gift? In this season of Lent, as we enter into a time that is darker, a time where we journey in the Christian tradition towards the cross where Jesus was crucified, where are shadows popping up for you? And I invite you to welcome them. Welcome them, embrace them. Maybe hear again those words of how to look with wide eyes, embracing shadows just as we embrace the light. And know that in this time, though we will walk in darkness, the light still shines within us, around us, through us. The light still shines, and that light will never be overcome. Friends, today I hope you will look for light, and I hope you will sit in shadows and embrace them as a gift. I know sometimes here in the heat of Texas, shadows are wonderful because they provide shade and coolness and relief from the heat of the sun. So maybe look for the ways that light and shadows together are creating a gift in this day and in the week to come. You are loved. Have a wonderful day. And if you get a week off in spring break this week, enjoy it. Enjoy some Sabbath time. Enjoy some time of rest and restoration.